Vikings likely going with Carson Wentz at quarterback. They're down a couple of offensive linemen. What's the game plan look like for the Browns defense?
The Browns have done such a good job getting pressure with just four on their defensive line. I think you could see them potentially dial up a few more blitzes here and there because when Carson Wentz has got a history, under pressure of turning the ball over. I can remember one blitzer in his face when he was still with Philly in the monsoon game in Cleveland, and he threw out a swing pass late to the left side of the field. It was picked off. I think it was Sione Takitaki returned it for a touchdown. So finding a way to get pressure on him. And if you are down multiple offensive linemen against this group, that's a problem. If they can find a way to get pressure on him early and often with just four and keep guys in coverage, it's one of those things where there's some people that have made an argument for like, oh, I would have kept Joe Flacco out there because I think the defense has a good chance of really shutting down this offense. I'm like, I can see that part of your argument, because they have a pretty good offensive line, but not with it banged up the way it is. So it's going to be paramount that they get to Carson Wentz early because if you can get in his head and create him to kind of doubt himself and get him to force some throws and get some turnovers, because turnovers are going to be key in this game yet again. I do think this defensive line can be a difference in this game, and I think you'll see it right from the start.
Another challenge for the secondary. You've got Justin Jefferson, Addison, who's back and playing well, Hawkinson. So how do you deal with them if you are Jim Schwartz and the Browns defense?
That's where you really hope that you can get the pressure with four so that you can keep those seven guys the other seven in coverage. I really do love the idea of Carson Schlesinger when we start playing some of these tight ends, these more athletic tight ends and things, because I think he's got the athletic ability to run with them, and you don't often have a linebacker that can run with, the real passing threat tight ends. So I think him paying a lot of attention to TJ Hawkinson in those situations, I think it's going to be paramount. If it's me, like I'm traveling Denzel Ward with Justin Jefferson. But I will say Greg Newsome has actually been really good since he's been back on the outside. But I would say Justin Jefferson having a safety over the top is, maybe keeping Denzel Ward with him. I know Jim Schwartz doesn't like to travel wide receivers, but if you let Justin Jefferson start getting hot, it can get out of hand really quickly. So just some safety help over top on Justin Jefferson, I think, is going to be really paramount. And, because I think Denzel Ward could do a good job, but, even if you're doing a good job against one of the best, I think he's probably the second best wide receiver in all of football. You may need a little bit help in that situation. So that's where it's going to be really paramount to kind of disguise coverages and just try to disguise where pressure is coming from. That way you can try to make them think you're not going to have seven in coverage, and then you drop seven in coverage and try to confuse Carson Wentz while still getting pressure on him. But I think making sure there's two guys knowing where Justin Jefferson is all times, I think that might be an important thing to do.